power to fire someone under your supervision, so do I.
You're gonna fire me to save Dr. Murphy.
He's not ready to move on. Neither am I.
Oh, man.
Neither am I.
Neither.
I'm not ready to move on.
And that's why The Good Doctor was renewed for a third season.
That's right, that's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's getting money for another season, man.
And you know.
He's an author. He's an activist. He's been nominated for the NAACP Image Award.
I've won 7 of them, man.
He won 7 of them since. All right.
Dang,
man,
he just got me nominated.
I was coming around.
Sometimes you got to win.
I was going to walk you up the hill, baby. Man, he was close advisor to the one and only President Barack Obama, author, an activist, an actor, a financial guru.
Good morning, good morning.
And he's here with us again. The one and only Hill Harper is back.
Love, love, love.
Hey,
good morning, everybody.
And the father. Hill, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to be on.
It's great to have you here. We used to have this thing where I used to, always text him in the middle of the night on accident, Heather B. And I
text him?
texting him, and
I get these texts
that say
they would say things, but it'd be like a text or a call. I mean, man, I wonder if he's all right. Is he okay?
Yeah, and I used to feel
all right.
so corny with it, but anyway, we got over that, and we're here today to talk about something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and it's financial literacy.
Yes.
And Hill has partnered up with Experian for the Boost America campaign.
Yes.
And I want to jump right into it because we talk about this a lot on our show.
Right.
Finances, investment, refinancing, buying property, losing money, regaining your credit after you got bad credit.
Right.
What made you decide to team up with Experian, and what is this all about?
Okay, so Boost America is a campaign to really push financial inclusion, financial literacy.
Okay.
And ultimately, let's break down a couple data points.
Okay.
There's 100 million Americans who don't have fair and inclusive access to credit.
Okay.
Right? There are almost, when you talk about black and brown folks, poor white folks, you talk about people who have subprime scores, millennials who may have a thin file. They don't have equal access. It costs you, if you're subprime, it costs you over $200,000 over the course of your lifetime in added fees and costs, interest payments, et cetera. So if we're talking about buy back the block, or if we're talking about actually creating cross-generational wealth, there's no way to do that if we don't have equal and fair access to credit. So here's the deal. The big 3 credit rating agencies, they have an algorithm that spits out a credit score.
Right.
And that credit score is what lenders use to determine what they're going to how much money they're going to lend you, and at what rate they're going to lend you, or what type of products and services they're going to offer you, and what cost is associated with that. So your credit score is critical, yet most of us don't even know how it's calculated or what we can do to improve it. What I love about what Experian has done here with Experian Boost is that they're allowing you to add in yourself, to take control of your credit file by adding in your mobile phone payments, which have never been credited before, your utility payments, cable, internet, these types of payments, water bill, electricity bill. The one thing, from the most challenged communities, the one thing, what do we pay for every month for sure, is our cell bill. Because that's our connection to our family.
Yep.
Before our lights.
Right. And we'll pay our electric bill because we got to charge our cell phone.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But what we often will do when things get tight is, and you all know this, we'll let our credit cards, stay maxed out. We'll run them over to the next month. We'll pay the minimum, but we will make sure we pay these other things in full on time to make sure that we have connection to our family and our friends, et cetera. We've never gotten credit for that before. Never gotten credit for that. So your positive payment history and your length of credit history are 2 major factors in determining your credit score. So if we can start to get credit for mobile payments, utility bill payments, et cetera, and go back up to 2 years back of positive payment history, that can positively affect your credit score potentially, depending on your situation. That's what Boost America is. That's what the new Experian Boost program is, and that's why I'm celebrating the fact that they're doing this, because they're adding innovation to our credit score to create more inclusion.
Hill Harper, man. How can people find, could they just go on Experian.com?
You go to Experian.com/Boost America. It's completely free. Look at your score. It'll happen in real time when you do it. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. You got to load in. Now this is important. You have to have been paying these bills through a bank account, a savings or checking account.
Okay, you can't be paying with cash.
No, if you're paying with cash, there's no way to track it.
Okay.
Right. So remember, y'all, all of this, there's not a person sitting behind a curtain calculating your score.
Right.
Okay, it's an algorithm.
Yeah.
It's a computer that does it. So that's why it has to be tracked electronically.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions. Experian, TransUnion, Equifax.
Yes.
These are the credit agencies.
The big three.
The big three. What are the differences between them, and how do they calculate differently, or it's the same algorithm?
No. Different algorithms, but
Okay.
they're using the same data.
Okay.
So here's the deal. All big three credit rating agencies get data from folks that you pay, that you may owe money to, from a credit card company,
Right.
from people that if you got sent to collections, all of these different, they get that data. And therefore, and from that data, they calculate a credit score. They all have different algorithms, but if you really look at your scores over time, they kind of come pretty close to each other. Okay? Different ones, the different algorithms weight different things. So this Experian Boost thing, for the first time, you're able to provide your own data in to show your own positive. So it's a big difference in impacting the algorithm here. I believe the other two will follow suit with a program like this, because they're not going to let someone else like Experian get so far ahead of them in actually trying to create more inclusion.
Hill Harper is here. Let me ask you this question about credit. No credit is worse than bad credit. Is what we've been told for years. A lot of folks don't use banking systems.
Right.
You can't really have a track of that history that you're talking about, that positive payment history. Can you explain why no credit is worse than having bad credit?
Right. So here's the deal: if you're not even in the system, you can't get rated. Okay. And if you're not in the system, what starts to happen is if you're not rated, you're going to be charged. And there's a saying out there: it's expensive to be poor. Right, which means the people that can afford it the least are always charged the most. It's also the people that were preyed upon the most with cash checking places, rent to own spots. They're all in certain neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
And
black and brown, or impoverished,
most challenged neighborhoods.
Okay.
So what we need to do is you got to get in the system, start creating a file, right? Because access to capital is ultimately what's going to determine your ability to be an owner, and also the cost it's going to cost you to have credit, to have a credit card, or to have your car loan. There's some states even that they tie your car insurance, like Michigan, for instance. I see the Red Wings hat. Michigan, they tie your car insurance cost to your credit score.
Okay.
So you have all these hidden costs that are associated with the score, and if you don't have a score at all, then the assumption is it's low.
Okay.
Right. Bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have a credit score no matter what. You see what I'm saying? So you might as well embrace the fact that you're going to get scored. If you have 0, it's going to get scored that low. Embrace it and start building credit up. Start building a positive payment history, and start building a credit history.
Hill Harper is here. We got Chris from Utah on the line. Go ahead, Chris. What's your question?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sway, Heather, Tracy G. I'm
Hi.
a big fan. I
Thank
listen
you.
to you guys every morning.
Thank you.
So I'm 42 years old. I'll be 43 on Friday. Just moved to Utah about a year ago. My credit score is actually about an 830. So
Nice.
Shit.
That's great.
do you think that boost will help a person like me?
Yeah, well, here's the deal. It can help anybody from any credit score,
Okay.
and so you just got to do it and find out. Your score can only, the max your score could even go up from 830 is 20, right, to 850.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's the
I'm
max.
kinda
But if
weary
it goes
about
from,
even messing with it at this point.
well, no. I'm glad you raised this point. That's the thing. There's no downside to doing the boost program. For instance, if you put your score in, if you add in those payments in, and your score doesn't go up, or if it potentially could drop, you pull out. It's voluntary. In other words, once they're in it, once you put it in, if you don't want to stay in, you pull out, and your score reverts to back what it was. In other words, they can't keep accessing or keep scoring you based off of data you don't provide. Does that make sense?
I think
In other
so.
words, it can't hurt you. It's completely voluntary.
Okay.
It's opt-in, it's opt-out. And it's
Okay.
completely free. So there's no way it could hurt you. My best recommendation is go in, you boost it, you do the program, boost it. It may go up 3 points, it may go up 5 points. Most likely, it's not going to drop because you're so solid. It drops on very few people, and if it does drop or something doesn't go up, then just pull out.
Hey, Chris, you're a citizen.
Sway morning.
Have you used it?
Yes,
Has it helped you?
it has. And for me though, my problem is I have a lot of different LLCs.
Okay.
And so I pay most.
Wait, hold up. Did you hear that? He said he got a lot of different LLCs. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I have about 15 to 17 different LLCs, and what I do is I pay my bills that are specific to those LLCs through the LLCs, and this is an important point.
Okay.
It only works if the name matches the file, right? Because they have to verify that it's actually you paying that bill. Like you can't put grandmama's. Grandmama been paying the bill under her name. You can't try to boost with her bill, right? So if my bill goes to my LLC, then it doesn't work. The names have to match on both your Experian file and your bank account.
Can I ask you a question? How has that benefited you personally by paying through your LLC?
So what happens is that it's just a tax advantage. Okay. So what happens, you can do different things tax-wise because you get less realized income to yourself by either paying through your corporation or your LLC, and ultimately it decreases your realized income, and you're able to itemize the different expenses in a different way.
Right.
That's what the rich folks do.
Yeah.
Okay, Tracy G.
Thank you for all of this, Hill. A lot of people have wondered that if they check their credit score frequently, that it brings the score down. Is that a myth or is that real?
Okay, so there's a difference. There's something called, that's a myth. There's a difference. There's hard inquiries and soft inquiries. Okay, so if you do a hard inquiry and you have a lot of hard inquiries, meaning if a potential lender or multiple potential lenders are checking your score, it's considered a hard inquiry because you're looking to access credit, and then if you ultimately access new credit. If soft inquiry is when you're just checking your score, you want to monitor it, you want to stay on top of your score, that doesn't negatively impact your score at all. And now with hard inquiries, if there are multiple checks for the same thing, for instance, you're about to get a new car and you start shopping around, so you go to Chevy, they check your credit because you want to see how much that car is going to cost versus Ford versus this. And if all these hard inquiries for the same type of credit happen within a tight period, it tends to not hurt your credit too much. It's not like everyone is going to drop.
Okay.
Because the algorithm starts to recognize, they're checking for just one type of credit. Now, if you're doing like hard inquiries for a loan here, for this, for that, the other thing, your credit's going to really drop. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hill Harper is here. Go to Experian.com, find out about Boost America.
That's right. Experian.com/Boost America. I couldn't be more proud of the idea that we're having this conversation because money is not taught in schools, which it should be. I mean, listen, we learn math from 1st to 12th grade, but we don't learn money.
Yeah.
And I would suggest to you that your relationship to money over the course of your life is more important than your ability to do long division.
Yeah. Hill, one, thank you for the work that you're doing and bringing this to the attention. I didn't even know this was happening. And speaking of LLCs, can we talk about how this could be used for those individuals who are interested in entrepreneurship? Because that is difficulty for particularly persons of color in order to access capital, in order to start the businesses, to have the LLC. So can you talk to us about how using this and how banks are being receptive to this type of product?
Yes. So here's the deal. Your credit score, the more you can just impact it in positive ways. And most people, I just want folks to hear me when I say this, people, you are not your credit score, right? The credit score is just a tool for you to use to build wealth, to build the life you want, to achieve your dreams, right? It's just a tool. So think about it. People get so wrapped up. People get stressed about it. Even I've noticed when I'm going around talking to people in person, they're like, they don't even want to show. There was a study that came out that said people will more likely admit to an infidelity than show their credit score. They keep it that tight. And so here's the deal. Forget that. Let's have an honest conversation about it. Let's start to build. And to your point, access to capital at a cost. So let's just paint the picture. If someone has a really great credit score and they get a loan or a small business loan and it costs them 3.5% interest rate for that loan, they can stay in business longer. We know starting a business is tough, right? They can stay in business longer because their operating costs are significantly lower than someone who comes in, gets that exact same loan, exact same amount, but has a poor credit score. Now they're paying 6%, 7%, almost double the operating opening costs. It impacts you in every single way you can imagine. And so actually taking a step back and just being, I'm not going to get passionate about it. I'm not going to get embarrassed about it. I'm actually going to learn and I'm going to change. And so that's why I love this Experience Boost program, because it gets you on the road. This is just one piece of a tool. Right. Another tool, like, let's talk about another thing. If you carry a credit card balance all the time, and this is a mistake I made, and I'd like to say that I thought I was financially. Oh, shoot. I can't say that on the serious. Yeah, I can say what I want. So, sorry. Serious. I forgot.
Right.
So I wrote a book
Yeah.
on financial literacy, yet I was wrong about something about credit. I thought, I never carried a balance over month to month.
Okay. So you always paid.
I always paid full my
yeah.
credit card balances.
Yeah.
But I would max out the balance oftentimes because I would run my expenses through.
Okay.
So watch this. I didn't know that if you use 30% or more of your available credit, it's a negative hit, even if you pay it off every month. The algorithm sees that if you having to use too much of your available credit. So I had to do one of two things: either increase my amount of available credit, because if I'm averaging X amount of spend, increase that amount, or spend less or pay with other forms like check. Don't put it on my cards. And so I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And so that's just another lesson, y'all. If there's certain things you can do to take steps, Experience Boost is one thing. Right, one thing that I recommend everybody do because it's quick, it's free, and it's easy, but it's the first step, and then there's a portal to let's take the longer term view of building your credit over time.
Hill Harper is here. We got a slew of questions. I'm going to try to take as many as possible. Let's work on a quick question.
Okay.
Quick answer.
Let's go.
All right.
Quick question.
Okay, here we go. Tyrone from Alabama, what's your question?
This is the quick one. The fireball, what do they call the fire round?
Yeah, the fire round, right?
Rapid fire.
All right, go ahead. Tyrone, go. What's your question?
Okay, so basically, I got a credit card just to build my credit up, and I watched a tutorial on YouTube, and the lady basically explained my limit is $300. I bought a pair of glasses for $100. She said pay up to and leave 5 to 7% on there so the credit can actually see something, and that way, and it's actually been jumping 25 points every month.
Okay, great. But listen, Tyrone. If your limit's 300, do not ever in any 1 month spend over 100 on that card.
Oh.
Do not spend over 100 on that card. Keep it 100 and less. All right, and then you can also request of the credit card company as you're building your history to have a higher allowable credit limit. And so that you can get it up to 500, 1,000, whatever, but always keep it under 30% per month or below.
Okay, thanks for your question. We got Ethan from Nebraska.
Hi, Ethan.
What's your question?
Hi, Ethan.
Go ahead, Ethan.
What's going on, guys? I got tons of credit cards, all different things. I seen the boost. I wanted to get on it, but I got multiple different accounts. Sometimes I pay late. Sometimes I'm on time. Will the boost account hurt you in any way if you have some information you enter that's not perfect?
No, there's no way they can see, since it's going through banking records, there's no way they know the negative because Boost Experian doesn't know how much your AT&T bill is. They don't know what percentage you paid. They'll just see a positive payment history of you actually making payments to AT&T or to Sprint or to T-Mobile or whoever, right? They'll just see that positive payment history. They don't know what percentage of that bill you paid or not. So it's only going to give you a benefit. There's no way it's a negative because AT&T's not reporting to, let's say your bill was $200, but you paid $150. Experian has no way of knowing that there was $50 unpaid. They just know that they saw you make a payment to AT&T, which is a positive thing, that you made a payment.
All right, Ethan, you're a citizen, man. Okay, we got Aiden from Florida on the line. Aiden, good morning.
Hi, hey, Sway, how you doing? It's my first time. I'm a virgin. Y'all popping my cherry.
My
Thank y'all so much.
my man.
Oh,
Glad to be with us.
Close your legs.
I'm glad you got through.
Yeah, I hope I get a little bit more time just because of that.
No, quick question, quick answer. Go.
All right, go ahead real quick. So my question is, I have a few open trade lines. Is it best to keep those trade lines closed or just best to keep them open with low balances all the time?
Do not close your cards. Don't close your cards. Keep them open. Just keep low balances. Unless you say to me, Hill, they're charging me too much per month or too much per year as a carrying cost, then I would say close them. But if there's very little cost of keeping them open, keep them open and keep low balances.
Okay, thank you for your question. We got another question from Ohio. This is D. Good morning,
What up, D?
What up, D?
AD.
Good morning, everybody. I know real quick. Hey, love all y'all. But Hill, got a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to get into the real estate market and purchase my first investment property.
Yes.
5-suite apartment building.
Okay, great.
Credit score is around 720.
Okay.
I do not have the 20% down, and I'm trying to figure out how to get that cash capital so I can move forward.
Right. Well, it's tough. There's a couple things. The number one answer to that, to be honest, is you got to go. I call it your angel investors. You got to go to friends, family. You got to just literally start building it like you're at the church. You can go to the preacher and say, hey, preacher, can we pass the pan in extra time for me? Dedicated. Give me 5 minutes behind the pulpit and let me make a plea to the congregation. Whatever it is, you got to hustle that money up, right? Because at the end of the day, that money is going to be your lowest interest rate money. That's going to be your best bet. And I want everybody to know this. Every person you've heard about has gotten that angel family friends loan. Don't think you're the only one. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, got $250,000 from his parents to start Amazon. So don't think that if your parents can't give you $250, don't think that you're the only one out there having to hustle up that seed money, right? Right, Steve Jobs and Wozniak started Apple in his parents' garage, right? They gave him free space, right? That's a donation to the company. So you got to understand that you're not no matter who you know about, they got help somehow. And sometimes they had to hustle up to help. Sometimes they got it. But, yeah, you're going to have to get that together. Make sure you keep building your score, though. I want to get that score up above 750. I want to get it to 770 and higher because it gets you into a better percentage rate to make that investment even more valuable. So keep building that score above 720. I'm glad you're above 720, but let's keep building that score.
Thank you, D. You're a citizen.
Sway in the morning.
Real quick, Q, you want to follow up with that?
Yeah, my cousin purchased a home about 15 years ago, and she's looking to, basically she's getting calls left and right about refinancing and whatnot.
Right.
She wants to know, is that a good, is that a good move?
It's only good. It's based off, one, the interest rate that you're going to get, and two, what would you do with that money? Okay, so if you say, Hill, I can actually use this money to make a significantly higher percentage than the interest rate that money's going to cost me. Let's just do easy math, right? So let's say it's $100,000. Let's say we got 3%. Talking about $3,000 a month carrying costs, right? And then, but I say, well, I have this other tool where I can put it in that's very secure, where I can make 6% back on my money. Then that's a good trade. But if you're going to lose the money or spend it on Prada shoes and sneakers or something that depreciates, or a new car, then that's not a good move because that's a depreciable asset. It's going to depreciate quite quickly and you're going to lose. I like the idea of paying things off, paying them down, unless you really have a new asset that you believe has high value. So if she were to say to me, Hill, I'm going to take that money, that refinance money, and actually invest it in a new piece of property that I think is undervalued, and now she owns 2 pieces of property because of that, then I say yes. But if she says, I just need it because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. No.
She wants to get a kitchen done.
No.
No.
That's not it.
No,
that's not it.
That's not it. That's
know
not
what?
it. That kitchen would be caught. She'd be paying interest on the kitchen for the rest of that mortgage. Makes no sense. Just think about it. You're going to be paying extra money for that kitchen. It's better to go to the preacher, ask him to pass the pan for that kitchen, and then invite everybody over for a nice meal once it's done.
Hill Harper is here with Experience and Boost America.
But a lot of times too, Hill, real quick, people refinance, and because my grandparents did this and paid off their bills. Like, what would you say to that?
Now, that's a different thing. So that's a great point. So if you're carrying a credit card bill that's hitting you with 18%.
Yeah, like 7 of them they had.
And you have no way to literally, realistically get out from under that. You're paying the minimums. There's no way to get out. And you can refi at 3.5%, 4%. Absolutely, that's a great trade.
Right. Okay.
You do that in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
No doubt. It just, that's why it's so specific. You have to look at all the different factors. If she's carrying credit card debt, yes, right. But if she doesn't have credit card debt, then, no.
Okay. I'll let her know.
You know, while we have you here, man, our next guest, Chelsea Christ, is the brand new Miss USA.
Yes.
And she like you, Hill Harper, is an attorney.
Yes.
And I thought it'd be great to have the two of you talk on a subject matter that we brought up earlier today.
What did you? I don't know what you brought up.
I got you, Hill. Let's bring her in real quick. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna bring you. If you don't know it, we're gonna walk you through it. But we got the one and only.
Does she know?
Miss USA, Chelsea Christ is here.
Chelsea Christ. Yay.
Thank you. Hey, man,
Yes.
I thought you were going to get it right. It's Chesley Chris. Come on
Chesley
now.
Chris. I'm sorry. I said Chelsea. My bad.
Chesley like Leslie.
Chesley.
Chesley
Chris.
Chesley. S before the L.
Yes, I said Chelsea.
Nice to meet you.
I've been saying Chesley all morning. You got here and I got flabbergasted.
So does she know what you talked about?
She has no idea what we're about to talk about.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear.
Okay, so I know that Chesley, the kind of work, some of the work you've done as an attorney, you fought for people who have had excessive sentencing and even people who were sentenced to life in prison over nonviolent crimes. And here we talk about everything in pop culture. And one of the subject matters we've been speaking on is Kim Kardashian's and her seeking out a law degree to pass the bar in California. Van Jones came here, a good friend of ours, and talked about how he's been walking her through the process of her not having to actually go to law school in order to do so, which is allowed in California. And they were recently, Tracy G told a story about 17
she
different...
helped to free 17 inmates in the last 90 days. And now she's going to be doing a 2-hour documentary special with Oxygen that's going to show this process with her being, the financial funder of it all. And then, the lawyers coming in to handle the heavy lifting.
Okay, so Mike Muse, who is a member of our show here, he's an engineer, amongst other things, an activist, worked for a couple of presidents, at least one that I know of. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that Kim was using her celebrity in a different way to help bring attention to causes that many have fought for years, but weren't able necessarily to bring the same amount of attention, and that there are people who are actually being exonerated and being let out of prison. And so I gave her kudos. And Mike Muse's position was...
I don't think that we should celebrate it and make it seem like she's doing something exceptional and ignoring all the work of so many activists who've been doing the work for criminal justice, for all the nonprofits out there that do this on a day-to-day basis who actually do this work and get individuals out there. I'm happy she is doing something, but as we put this in context, we want to make sure that she is paying for the attorneys, right? And attorneys are actually going to the court and actually fighting for these inmates to get released. I just want to make sure that we put it in its proper context and its proper place, that we don't elevate her for her exceptionalism for this work when so many attorneys have been fighting so hard in both the private and public sector for this space to happen.
Right. Well, I am one of those attorneys. So Kim Kardashian works with Brittany Barnett, and Brittany Barnett and I are co-counsel in a North Carolina case. So I'm one of those attorneys who is helping people do exactly this. And I think it's phenomenal. I think it should be celebrated. I mean, can we count on two hands how many celebrities are doing the same thing that Kim Kardashian is doing? Like, I can't think of that many. So I think it is important and should be celebrated that she's using her celebrity for this, because there are so many other celebrities who are on Instagram just trying to get a promotion, just trying to get paid. And here she is using her money to do the right thing. I think it's great. I think it should be celebrated. I'm excited for her.
Chesley Chris. I got it right that time, damn it.
So you are assisting with the counsel that is sponsoring essentially her ability to take the sit for the bar. Is that what I'm understanding?
No. So Kim Kardashian, you were talking about the attorneys who do the groundwork for Kim Kardashian. Brittany Barnett is one of those. And Brittany Barnett and I are co-counsel on a case in North Carolina where we're working for a client who has been sentenced, is a low-level drug offender, and we're looking forward to seeing his release hopefully at the end of May. So we're doing the stuff that she's working on. You were talking about the 17 people who she's gotten released, and we're doing exactly that. My stepdad is also an attorney, and he and I have worked for a client who has been sentenced to life in prison for a low-level drug crime. And I have to tell you, it never gets any easier talking to our client and hearing him say, I know I'm going to die here.
Wow.
That's never easy to hear.
Okay.
And honestly, the first time that I talked to him, my stepdad, worked for him for years before I did. The first time I talked to him, I was almost in tears because that's very hard to hear. And it makes you think like, I get to walk out of my law office today and I get to go home. He does not. You know,
Right.
he is in the place where he will be unless we can get him out. And so that's important work to do, and I'm glad that she's doing it, and I'm glad that she's using her celebrity for the right thing.
Yeah.
Hill Harper, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, you know, let's put it in perspective. Black men in America are 6% of the population. We are 42% of the inmates. You know, I was the Innocence Project's national spokesperson 2 years ago, and anybody who's doing work around prison, you know, incarceration reform. Obviously, my last book, I wrote a book about mass incarceration and reform. So anybody who's doing work in this space, we need you. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, right? And allow people to evolve. You know, here's the deal. Consciousness evolves. So just because she wasn't doing this 10 years ago doesn't mean the fact that she's doing it now is a bad thing. It's good that people are evolving and folks are doing work. We need bail reform. We need plea reform, and we need more people involved in getting people released. There's a brother here named John Ramsey. I just did the press conference 2 weeks ago, who was wrongfully incarcerated in New York. He did 39 years in prison, recently got out. So we're trying to get that expunged. So, you know, here's the deal. Anybody who's willing to do work to help folks get out of prison is a good thing. And we need to, it's not about putting them on a pedestal. It's about amplifying the message that you don't need to be Kim Kardashian to do this work as well. There are people who are sitting in jail and in prison right now, wherever you're listening to this, that could use your help. And if that's your help in terms of dollars, if that's your help in terms of sweat equity, if that's your help in terms of time and just raising the bar on information, it's great. So I think that's great that Chesley is doing this and that Kim is doing this.
Hill Harper, give him a big round of applause.
Love you guys.
Love what you're doing for financial literacy. Make sure you go to Experian.com.
Experian.com/Boost America. Let's boost America. Let's get this. Let's buy the blunt, baby. Let's buy the blunt. Let's get that money. Let's build wealth. Let's build wealth. We're going to make 10,000 black and brown millionaires before the next 5 years is out. 10,000 black and brown millionaires. Love you guys.
Hill Harper.